All right, ninth grade physics students, physical science students who are learning physics, we're going to talk about how to do momentum problems. And you've looked at momentum in the notes, and we'll talk about momentum a little bit more, but I want to talk about how we do the calculations. Please forgive me for the shadows here. But anyway, momentum is represented by the letter P. And we can determine how much momentum an object has if we know its mass and we know its velocity. So P equals m times v. If I know the momentum already and I know the velocity, I can solve for the mass, so that becomes m equals p divided by v. And if I want to know the velocity and I know momentum and mass, I can do v equals p over m. So that you see that equation right there. So again, 3 equations in one. So let's take a look at the first problem. First problem says, what is an object's momentum if it moves at 3 meters per second and has a mass of 15 kilograms? So first part of that sentence, what is an object's momentum? So I'm going to write down P equals question mark. All right, so if it moves at 3 meters per second, again, 3 meters per second is a velocity, and it has a mass of 15 kilograms. All right, well, let's look at what equation we should use. Again, we're looking for momentum. P equals mv. M and v are next to each other. So I'm going to write down P equals mv. All right, now I just substitute my numbers in, and I go 15 kilograms times 3 meters per second. 15 times 3 is 45. And notice that none of these units cancel out. So they all have to come across the equal sign. And so I get kilogram meters per second for my units for momentum. And that's kind of a hard unit to understand, but if you write down your units as you go, you know that they have to come across. All right, let's look at the next one. How much mass does an object have if its momentum is 75 kilogram meters per second and it's moving at 4 meters per second? All right, so how much mass is the first part of this? So we go m equals question mark. And it says that its momentum is 75 kilogram meters per second. So that's P, 75 kilogram, oops, let me show you, kilogram meters per second. And then it's moving at 4 meters per second. 4 meters per second is a velocity. Okay, so I want m. So I come up here and I go, all right, this is my unknown. I know these two, P over V, sure enough. Okay, so let me write that down. M equals P over V. And so that's going to be 75 kilogram meters per second over 4 meters per second. Okay, now in this case we can cancel out the meters per second and the meters per second down here, leaving me only with kilograms, which is good because I'm measuring the mass or calculating the mass. And 75 divided by 4 is 18.75 kilograms. All right, and the last one here. How fast is a 10 kilogram object moving if its momentum is 200 kilogram meters per second? All right, so first question, how fast? So V equals question mark. 10 kilogram object, and its momentum is 200 kilogram meters per second. All right, so I wrote those things down. Now I want the velocity, V equals P over M. And so I put this down, V equals P over M. And that's going to be 200 kilogram meters per second divided by 10 kilograms. In this case, the kilograms cancel out, and I go 200 divided by 10 is 20, and the units I have left over are meters per second, which makes sense because that is a velocity. All right, so you have seen how to calculate each of the 3 variables related to momentum, and well, there you go.